You can't be a good parent if you're not present.
Mom, are you watching us?
Sorry.
It's so important for kids to have a healthy lifestyle.
Did you wash?
Yeah.
With soap? Back in.
Mom!
You have to find the funny all the time.
That is not funny. Separate! Separate!
Hi, welcome to Perfectly Imperfect Parents on the Chopra Well. I am here with my two friends, Danny Modisette and Dr. Cara Natterson. And today we are speaking about social media. Well, we're all on Facebook, right? But do you guys use it for personal stuff?
I do, and I'm always worried about that, posting pictures of your kids, because there's some controversy around whether that's a smart thing to do or not.
Right? I haven't found the balance yet at all, and I use various social media for work as well, but I haven't figured it out because I'm afraid. It's also a vastly different world today than it was even 3 or 4 years ago, where pediatricians used to say to parents, put the family computer in a public space and they can do their homework and write their papers in the den or in the kitchen.
Or even that they know that your
That's
parents
right.
can see it anytime.
It has changed because now social media and all computing devices are ruled by mobile devices. There are phones, smartphones, there are iPads, and your kids are walking around your house with them.
My family's a public family because of my dad being out there, and since I live on social media, I share a lot of my stories. I generally don't share photos of my kids. I like to keep some sense of privacy in my life. And it's funny because my dad loves to post pictures of the kids, and my brother and I are always like, we shouldn't do that. And so here we're like fighting with my dad about being more protective about our kids because we really kind of cherish that privacy.
What worries me the most about my kids entering the world of social media, and mine have not entered it. Mine don't post things, and they don't know.
Ours are a bit young, but
Yes.
my 11-year-old, almost 11-year-old, wants to be on Instagram.
Right.
She's on email. And again, we have a school rule that they're not supposed to be on Facebook, but of course half the kids are on Facebook. So
Right. But the issue for me when my kids enter is that they think when they put something up, it's there, and when they pull it down, it's gone. And have you ever searched yourself online? Those bad pictures do not go away.
If you put a photo up but you take it down,
Right.
you haven't really taken it down?
you can change your settings in Facebook and Twitter. So again, Instagram is another example. I don't post personal stuff on Facebook, but I thought, Instagram's perfect for me to use with my kids. So I was taking photos everywhere on our trip to Italy, on, all personal stuff. And then one day I realized, oh my God, I have like 20 comments and likes on this photo and I don't even know one person on it. And I realized that Instagram, anyone can follow you.
It's great that as moms we're having this conversation, but maybe even better is to hear it from a kid. So here's a conversation we had with a 16-year-old.
Yes, we did.
Teaching us about safety and social media. Let's watch.
We have a very special guest today. Her name is Audrey Whitby, and she is from IMO at Awesomeness, and it's awesome that you're here.
Yay, I'm so excited to be here.
Can you tell us, please, about what IMO, Awesomeness, all that? What is that?
AwesomenessTV is this awesome new YouTube channel where you can find anything from like funny sketches.
And this slumber party's about to get sick, about to get sick, about to get sick.
What I do is this kind of teen talk show. Look at anybody who's smiling. Like, do I seem insecure to you right now? No. And we all just kind of sit around and talk about boys. What else? Social media, cupcake tutorials. So we have a whole bunch of fun girl talk show times.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is there anything, you said social media, is there anything that that you girls, when you sit around and talk, that's off limits, like that you won't social media-ify, if I may?
Yeah, I feel like our guidelines are keep everything like really positive. I'm on a sketch comedy show, and I have this really out there character.
Clicking teacups at this tea party.
And some people people will, you know, say like, oh, you're so annoying, and yeah, I hate the way you do that, or just kind of spreading this negativity. So we call those our social media meanies.
Oh, so you never perpetuate that. You're not going to say
You just
anything
spread
mean.
positivity.
Wow,
and keep
that's
it a positive place.
And are you doing that in reaction to what you guys experience in the social media world?
You know, nobody likes to see that there's negative comments about themselves. I think when I went to public school, all my friends would get bullied online, and that's so hurtful. You know, sometimes I'll like tell a kid, I'm like, you know, I keep my Instagram a really positive place, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm your biggest fan. A lot of the time I'm just looking for your attention.
So that's a pretty grown-up way of approaching online bullying. And I'm wondering how you got there.
I think my mom is like a really big influence on me. And our rule has always been, like, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Look at us.
That's what we tell our kids.
Mothers. Oh.
We would love your advice
Oh, good one.
as a teenager. What can we do that would make us better parents? And where do parents really mess up?
My mom has a Facebook. We have a few set rules. My whole family, me and my sister and my mom, all have the same password. And so like that's the rule. Like she
I
knows
like
my
that one.
password.
I like that.
And so
So lame. We're like, same password.
No, but it's genius. It's not just I know your password.
Right, it's the
my
same password.
we
That's
all
really
have
smart.
the same password.
Is that a good rule?
I like that rule. I'm also friends with my grandma. Another one of our rules is don't post anything that you wouldn't want your grandma to see. So.
And there you go, because your grandma will see
Because in
it.
this
Yes.
case, she actually will read it.
I love
Yeah,
that. Okay. Audrey, I want to thank you so much for coming to talk to us today. You taught us a tremendous amount about kids and social media, and we're going to take your lessons to heart. So
Yeah,
thank you.
you. Thank you. It was very fun. Good luck.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
Okay.
Can I friend you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm friends with everybody. I got like 1,000 friends. I don't possibly know 1,000 people. How do I have 1,000 friends?
Oh my God, so interesting, because I would have never thought to share the same password on Facebook.
Yeah, that's a good one.
that's a-
I don't know how they all agree to that. They seem all very, you know, in it.
In the world of medicine and health, I watch as people circulate all of this misinformation. Articles get passed around through social media that are not accurate. Parents ask me things all the time that are essentially true or not true. I wrote a book about it called Worry Proof. What do you need to worry about? There are all of these articles out there that are telling you all of these things are dangerous for your children, and how are you supposed to manage it as a parent? They're either written by someone who has a very rogue opinion, or they're based on misleading data, and they become part of not just urban myth, but they become part of how we make decisions as parents, and it's bad information.
Right,
So,
like the one about Ritalin only will, if you give your children Ritalin, it will only affect the areas where they need to be affected. Right,
yes, that is
but
a perfect example
that's something
of
that you
misinformation.
could get like an article on the
Yes.
on the Facebook. I read this. This is so important information for all of us as mothers. Click, send, share, and
That's
pretty
right.
soon everybody's.
Yeah,
Sure.
you need to be very careful about
Yes.
the content that you're putting out there and that it's trustworthy. And yes, our children today are getting information from friends. They're getting it from online. You know, a lot of the search engines don't have any criteria in terms of expert
Right.
opinion versus not.
But how
what's
often
the
do you go
credibility?
past page 10 on your search engine? You know, it's how are you filtering this information? And I am amazed in the world of children's health. You know, I have a website where I try to curate and say, this is a good article, this is a bad article. It's all about checking the validity of the source.
I think it's a big topic for our generation as parents, because it's all happening so fast that we haven't even figured out how to approach it. I mean, I think that I would, and how we are approaching it is we accept that those platforms are out there. We're trying to hold back as long as we can, so delay, and I know you're a big believer in delay. It's a tool. It's a tool again. And just like we spoke on the phone when we were teenagers or we did other things, it's just another tool. And it's again, how as families are we setting the priorities or the rules in our house? Well, I think we could honestly talk about this forever because this seems to be a huge issue. I'd love to hear your final thoughts on this topic.
You have to actually create
That's
a
right.
policy of what's safe and where the boundaries are and what is private and what's for family and what's for public and the consequences of taking things public. And I think probably that level of communication is what's really important.
I think just taking it from there, recognizing it's constantly evolving. This landscape is changing. We can't master it. So not only are we dinosaurs, but we're dinosaurs who aren't going to be able to keep up with it.
My tip on this topic is that it's an area that is filled with a lot of fear. And sometimes we just don't know, but if we can kind of take the fear and put that aside and think of it more, here's a tool, just like other things in our life, that we have to come up with a family philosophy on it, that may be the best way to tackle the issues. So I think we could talk about this forever, and I know that people who I have spoken to or asked have so many thoughts, so many fears, so many stories around this. So we would love to get your stories and any tips that you could share with us on how to deal with this issue. Yeah. So thank you again for joining Perfectly Imperfect Parents on the Chopra Well. Please make sure you subscribe because we really do want to hear from you. Thanks.